Hey, shalom, shalom. First, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Kodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that gave us this 100% truth. Salutation unto the Archeums, enduring unto the end and pushing this word unto the four corners of the world. Shalom to you, Aquats listening and learning, and unto you, speckled bird Israelites. This again is your brother Yassad from the Trinidad GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp, bringing on to you another lesson, willing to edify into the spirit. Okay, I was just going through YouTube and taking a look at some news broadcasting stations now on YouTube, and hey, it just come to me in the spirit to just do a quick edifying video here showing me that this here is all just the signs at the end being manifested here. Just as the scriptures say, we actually seen it. So I'll go through a little small one or two, bring out a little few scriptures, but I'll play a little few in the videos. So let me go on.
A year after India and China accused each other of intrusions in Ladakh, New Delhi appears to be shifting towards a more offensive military posture. It has sent 50,000 more troops to the disputed border with China. With the latest deployment, India now has 200,000 personnel stationed there, 40% more than the number it had last year. China has also stepped up military training in the area. The People's Liberation Army has conducted more than 100
because hey, that is to show you. Let me bring out the scripture here, in Matthew chapter 24 and I'll start at verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Yeah, because a lot of these countries bringing out rumors and making statements that they preparing for war. And on top of it, we actually saw wars recently, which were going with Gaza and Israel, you know, bombs, ballistic missiles and things being sent off. That through this war was rising and so forth, but it calmed down now. But we don't know, the Lord might end up stirred back up again. We don't know. Right now, China's focus was actually on Pakistan, but now they leave off that now and go on to India and start to set up troops, at the border, same as India sending out troops at China border. So that's going hand in hand. And we know from Cold War is lead to hard war. Yeah. Going a little.
Been deployed on the border with China. This is the biggest ever deployment along China in Indian history. Also a massive jump from last year. Here we know so far, India has redirected at least 50,000 more troops to the China border. These are additional troops. Earlier they were handling anti-terrorism operations against Pakistan. Now they have been moved to tackle the threat from China. With these new deployments, India is now said to have around 200,000 soldiers focused on the line of actual control with China. This is an increase of 40% from last year. In recent months, India is said to have moved troops and fighter jets to 3 distinct areas along the border with China. We'll tell you about them in just a bit in detail. Sources tell us that with these deployments, India wants to match the Chinese forces toe-to-toe. So if India has around 200,000 soldiers on the border, we are given to believe that China has an equal number. Does this mean another confrontation is brewing? Is India responding to a new threat perception? Sources tell us the threat has been clear and present. India's deployment is about preparedness rather than triggering hostility. Look at the sequence of events in the past 12 months. Multiple border frictions, 11 rounds of commander-level engagements, 7 meetings between diplomats and military officials, and 2 face-to-face interactions between the foreign ministers of both sides. The result is this. Beijing talks about disengagement but refuses to pull back troops.
This just continue go on. The Lord just stirring up the spirit of the the heads, you know, these bigger nations. I tell you, lo and behold, it is all gonna lead down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, where all these nations are gonna fight against each other, where the Lord is gonna judge all these nations. Hey, and we know America is gonna actually fall into the play just as well, because they are the bully. The Americans, they actually are the bully that goes into country and you know, bring forth their laws to take your resources. And so many countries, they actually do that too. Look at Venezuela, and they're looking to push on for other countries to eat. They may be actually still pesting Iran or Iraq, all these things. Hey, you know, and there's a lot more too. So, yeah.
The violence just hours after President Cyril. We begin this edition in Africa. Several people in South Africa, mainly supporters of jailed President Jacob Zuma, resorted to violence to show their discontent. There is rampant rioting, looting, and killing. As of now, at least 72 people have died, and more than 1,200 have been arrested so far. 5 days after the imprisonment of former President Jacob Zuma, widespread violence continues. This mall in the eastern region was set ablaze after being looted by robbers. Amid the violence, police and security chiefs held a meeting. The South Africa police minister called on its citizens to stop the riots immediately. About 2,500 troopers have been deployed to quell the violence. Just hours after President Cyril Ramaphosa deployed troops, stores in 2 South African provinces were ransacked.
Yeah, and it just goes on. Not a rioting. It's supposed to have a next one here, you know. A next one
into blackout complaints. For President Miguel Diaz-Canel, this is a big test. He took charge in 2018 as Cuba's first non-Castro leader.
Meanwhile, this is what's happening in Cuba. The allure of Cuban communism appears to be waning. The country is facing its worst economic crisis in 30 years, and the government does not have answers. Thousands of anti-government protesters are marching through major cities. These are the biggest demonstrations in decades, but with no Castro at the helm. How will Cuba navigate this crisis? Will the legend of Fidel be enough to quell the protests? Or is this the beginning of something bigger? Our next report tells you.
Communists love revolutions. They plot it, romanticize it, embrace it, until it reaches their doorstep. Cuba knows a thing or two about revolutions. This is a country forged by fiery communists. A band of rugged guerrilla fighters led by the charismatic Fidel Castro. But modern-day Cuba is not a communist fiefdom, and these protesters are here to say just that.
We are here because of the repression against the people. They're starving us to death. Havana is collapsing. We have no house, we have nothing. But they have money to build hotels, and they have us starving.
Anti-government protests are rare in Cuba, but the Wuhan virus pandemic created the perfect storm. Critical medicines are in short supply.
And hey, we know that these Cubans, they are of the tribe of Israel. Look at right here, you know, as you see in the description number 7, Manasseh. The Cubans, they are of the tribe of Manasseh, you know, out of the 12 tribe of Israel. Yeah, and hey, look at how they have our people. A lot of food shortages, leading them into a riot. But hey, all of these things ought to come to pass according to prophecy. Just as the scripture in Ezekiel, you know, the Lord have set us as watchmen upon the house of Israel. Yeah, and hey, we being that watchman, as we taking in the news and looking at all the current affairs of the country and all these things that have taken place within the world. That is we being a watchman unto the house of Israel, and letting Israel know that hey, now is the time that we ought to get ourselves in an order with the Lord, because we seeing that the end manifesting. The scripture say we ought to see the Lord while he may be found. Or Ecclesiastes, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, where the evil days come not. Because picture it as this. Picture it as the evil days, you a mile away, you actually see the evil days a mile away from you. And there's now is the rush time for you to actually get this word and get yourself right to the Lord. That's just how it is right now. So the little time that the Lord sent out mercy, that you're still able to hear the prophets of the Lord out on the street. Take that time to seek the Lord now. Israel, take that time to get to know the Lord now. Forget about all these things, forget about all these vanities that you can gain this and you gain that in kingdom. Have we not seen what is their objective and their aim? Look right now. In KFC, they require to take that so-called cure to come back to work after all these time, and we did a lovely video on that. Me and the brother Howard and brother Yakal out on the boat there, all praises to Yahweh Shemir Shai. Brother Yahard, and I mean, yeah, and just as we said, all these other franchises gonna be pushing it, because my wife, she was actually showing me that the Ritual actually was telling them the same thing as well. That they tell them that a certain percentage of the staff have to take that so-called cure in order for them to actually function and come back out to work. You seen it in Mario's I supposed to have it right here. Look it out in Mario's here. Mario's Pizzeria. Only the persons that take the so-called cure, these employees that shut up, they alone is gonna be able to return to work on July the 19th. Just not real. This is the news day. Yeah. It's in Mario Pizza has implemented a C-19 cure policy for all its staff, and those who do not want to consent unto them will remain temporarily laid off. You tell me they care about you all? And first the devil so crafty, as the Isaiah 10 say, warn to them that decree unrighteous decrees. But that just the thing about it. We out here, we so simple minded that we not gonna make no uproar about this. The so-called Trinitarians, they just so tuned into the government giving them, and the government having things put in place for them, and they so believe in the system that whatever the government throw at them gonna take it and chew it up. That is how sad. That's just how sad it is. Yeah, But let me go down into a second. That's just on chapter 15. I'll start at verse 14. It's a woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. We seen the sword drawing nigh. They pushing for the agenda, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. We witnessing wars, was taking place, and Cold War looking to begin, and swords in their hands. The sword is the modern day gun right now, and the modern day missiles and bombs and all these things. Let's say, for there shall be sedition among men. I played the video showing you how the South Africans getting on, running and invading and taking goods, Hey, that is just to show you how the end is. And it said this is the worst that they ever see. They say in Cuba that is the worst uprising they ever see. Because they had the people starving. Lack of bread upon the earth. So the people can't do nothing but protest about it. It said they shall not regard their kings nor princes, because the guy just say that they have money to build buildings and so forth, but they're still not helping them and providing for them. They're hungry. Food supplies running out, and the course of their action shall stand in their power, because they're gonna realize that the government don't want to seek their interests. The government leaving them to suffer, and this is what leading them to all these things. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. We've seen it with your own eyes. In order for you to fly out, they're gonna require you to take that so-called cure. Force you against your own will. All you Israelites, cause you to transgress the law. All praises to Yahweh Shem Shai, that I have this knowledge that I could be able to understand prophecy and understand these things that is happening now. Look at the most. I don't feel I played this last one here too.
Acres as. Let's move on now. Wildfires continue to rip through western United States as the region reels under extreme heat and drought situations. The region has been witnessing extreme heat waves over the past few weeks, smashing records everywhere from Southern California to Oregon. Thousands of firefighters across 12 states are now battling wildfires that have burnt a total of more than 850,000 acres as of now. The Beckworth Complex, the largest wildfire burning in California, has burned more than 91,200 acres alone. Some 20...
Hey, do we all not see it? Do we all not see it? The book of Revelation 16 and 8. The book of Revelation 16 and 8, it says, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scourge men with fire. And men were scourged with great heat, and blasphemed the name of Yahweh, which had power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. That is why a lot of bushfire going on. Heat waves all over. That is just it. All these prophecies that's going to pass. All praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. But he that doing the will of the Heavenly Father, he gonna be guided in this time, and he gonna be taken care of. I'll just bring out this last scripture here. The book of Jeremiah chapter 51 and 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nation have drunken of our wine. All these nations drunk off all our customs, our way of living. All these other nations actually promoting the homosexualities and all these things, because they make a covenant. They join hand in hand with them under the NATO and the EU system. all the treaties that they make with all these other countries, had them living by their laws. Let's say Babylon is fallen and destroyed, howl for her, take balm for her, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Yeah, the system, this whole Babylonian system, the Lord is not gonna heal it. The Lord have a as in Job, the Lord set up its bound that it cannot pass. So right now this place actually on the brink of fall. This place on the brink to be fallen. It's a forsaker. We Israelite people ought to do forsaker. Let us go on into his own country, or let the Israelite go back to their own heritage. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Yeah. And all these nations that align with her, you all gonna face the same judgment as her. All you that join hand in hand is gonna face the same judgment. It's just I hope this lesson was edifying. We've seen all the prophecies that's taking place one by one. Our coming at the Lord Yahweh Shai soon. Double honors unto the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Salutation again to the Akiams. Shalom.